Welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. We're in Matt's garden.
First garden fire of the year.
Excellent. Okay, and today we're talking about routines. And routines is a really interesting topic for me because as an ADHD, I'm not good at routines. Looking at it from an NLP point of view, we talk about meta programs. And meta programs are about opposite preferences and where you are on a scale of them.
Right.
So there's a meta program for variety or sameness, and I have a strong preference for variety.
Yeah, I like variety.
Change, yeah. I like doing different things. I get bored quite easily. So that kind of goes against like having routine. So for example, I've got about 6 different ways of making coffee.
Yeah, but then it's, from an IT perspective, it's about knowing what a routine is.
Right, go on. So what's
Because you've got different levels of routine. You can have your weekly routine, your work routine. You can have your getting up routine, your showering routine, your going to bed routine. So all those little bits, like rather than kind of fixing the whole routine, just work on one small bit of your routine.
Okay.
So you have a difference between a habit and a routine. So something that's habitual.
Yeah.
Something that comes with so it's a habit, which is kind of similar to a routine. A routine is something you do, but then a certain amount of change. So you're walking to work, you walk a different route each time. You still have a routine of walking to work, buying coffee, a few different ways.
Right. Okay. So you can have choice between various different routines. So I can satisfy my need for variety, while still having routines that make sure that like.
Yeah. So
the washing up gets done.
Yeah. So, for example, you can say, right, I'm going to do this week. So you're going to do washing. Routine of doing that washing, but you don't necessarily put where it is. So within 7 days of a week, one of those days you have to do the washing. If you get that into a routine and say like at least once a week you do the washing, you can keep that going and build it up so it becomes more habitual. And then you can maybe do it twice a week. But there are other strategies for routine, but we'll come back to that.
I think I'm understanding this a bit better. So what you're saying from the OT point of view is we use a routine to put something new into our lives.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's also organisation as well. So if you're just getting up what's going on, then it's more difficult to start the day. If you wake up and you say, I'm doing this, I'm doing my yoga, doing my exercise, having a cup of tea, having my breakfast, having a shower. So you kind of, and you don't have to be too specific. It's better to be more specific. But say by 10 o'clock you've done those things in that order, then you can kind of, you're going to start the day better because firstly you've achieved 4 things that you set out to do, which gives yourself a sense of achievement.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to start the day. So, and then again, once you kind of keep doing this routine, it becomes a habit, which becomes habitual. So then you have to think about it less, and then you can introduce something else you want to routine.
So we made videos about fire before.
Yeah.
And we have fire quite a lot of the time when we do these videos. So should we look at and we're trying to encourage people to do it. So should we look at the routine of preparing for having a fire?
Yeah, and just a couple of like people who, when you say routine, a lot of people are like, and especially people themselves, do.
Yeah.
They're like, routine. But it's not. You got to think about it small. And there's ways to a routine you can kind of change that. So you can say, like I mentioned before, I think some videos are 3 minutes. So if you're trying to start, like, I say you want to do your hoovering on Tuesday morning.
Okay.
You're struggling. You can do it for 3 minutes. So even if you get out the hoover and go, can't be asked, not today. You've got out the hoover. So you're looking at the positives of it. Rather than having achieved it, you got out the hoover, you thought about it and done it.
Yeah.
If you keep having that thought, keep getting out the hoover, like do 3 minutes of it. Eventually it becomes a sort of pattern. Everybody's like, well, yeah. And you can do 3 minutes and you think, well, actually I might as well finish it because I've already started it. So that's how you can have train the mind into starting a new routine. Obviously it's not that simple.
Well, actually, I don't know, because quite a lot of the time I don't do things because there's something in the way. So I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Before I do that, I've got to do this, I've got to do the other.
Yeah.
And then that becomes overwhelming.
Yeah. So I mean, you could break down those things.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of voting does. It breaks down the individual kind of where you're working. I mean, I think called grading, which you kind of increase the activity or what they're doing, increase the level of skill required or level of intensity, and grade it up to kind of meet their needs. So they're not feeling like, oh, I'm not getting things done, but they're not feeling doing well. And the art is to keep that conversation dialogue going so you can keep rising and expand.
Yeah. So if I wanted to put having a campfire,
yeah, let's go for
and having, like, if I wanted to put that into my routine and say, like, this is an activity I want to engage in a couple of times a month.
So, I mean, yeah, initially from an OT point of view, what would your reason be?
So part of it is I have a bag that.
So I was going to say, yeah, first we could have looked at getting stuff, but
I have a bag that I put my fire stuff in, and it's all together.
all together.
So I try and keep all my fire lighting stuff and a bit of wood and some lighting blocks and a knife, a little kindling axe and things like that all in that bag. So all I need to do is check it and pick it up.
Great, so that part of your routine is kind of already visual. Cool, visuals.
Right.
You've got the bag set. So all the next thing you look at is, right, it's a bag set then, basically check, so grab the bag and ready to go. So yeah, that part, that first part of your fire lighting is a bit particularly need to worry about.
Right, so our advice if you want to put that routine into your life is get a bag and put all your kit together. And that fire lighting stuff at the beginning, I mean, if you watch the video, that's like we sort of go through things to put, so it's like a first aid kit, a bit of water to put the fire out, a little stove, a box of matches, and a small amount of wood, and it's like that's your basic to start with, and it's efficient. Okay, so that's the first. So the first part of it is just having that kit ready.
So like, some people that they might need to build that routine. So the night before, there's so many different options. You can write a list. You can have a way of like a visualization ways to remember stuff. There's all these different ways you can do it. So basically, someone might start at the night before, get their bag.
Yeah, so you could do a kit grid.
Yeah.
Kit grid photo. Keep it in your bag.
Yeah, perfect. And like, some people are more visual than textual.
Yeah.
So once you've got your bag, you're kind of looking at where to go. I mean, if you already know that, but it's each individual. So some people might struggle with decisions on where to go.
Right. Okay.
And this is when you're looking at helping someone develop a routine, you're looking at all these things of what their limitations are, what's holding them back, what the restrictions are, whether they've got any physical restrictions or mental restrictions.
Yeah.
And then, basically you build from there. So you'd say, you've worked out where to go.
So incidentally, on that physical restrictions, the reason we're in your garden today is I've just had an operation. I can't walk that far.
Yeah.
I can't drive, so we're based from home. So that's like that change for that reason.
Yeah. But there's different ways to into it. Like I said, you've got the 3-minute rule.
Yeah.
Things like that. Or I mean, a lot of useful thing is to if you've got a diary. Most people have diaries in their smartphones.
Yeah.
Have different colours for stuff. You can do that on any
Yeah.
diary. So say orange. Now for to-do stuff that's important, I tend to use orange because orange is a colour that inspires. It's like a motivation doing colour. So you'll find a lot of that's why fast food restaurants and stuff like red, yellow, and orange in their symbols because it gets people doing stuff. But that's a different subject. But so you can do the orange and have all your things in your calendar you need to do as an orange. So your brain looks at it and goes, boom, orange, that means I need to do it.
Yeah.
And then you can stick that in every week, every 2 weeks, and then you just build up the regularity of it.
And I suppose your things that are like relaxing, you'd use like a green or a blue or something.
Yeah, I've got mine, it's absolutely blue.
Yeah.
And you know, when you can begin to structure your diary like that, because when I'm dyslexic, so that organisation thing is an issue.
Yeah.
So when you have a colour, I mean, I can look at my diary, I can see the colours, and I'm right, today is something I'm doing. So I've got to work on this, work on that, and I'll do something just by looking at the colours. So without having to read too much in cards, and that's part of the easy routine.
So incidentally, you mentioned dyslexia, and I was talking about ADHD.
Yes.
If you have a neurodivergent condition, which could be autism, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, dyscalculia, loads of other things, including like brain injuries, emotional trauma, all kinds of things, like the endless list.
Yeah.
It's fairly common to find that you've experienced difficulties with what they call executive functioning.
Yep.
And that is a lot of this planning stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the front part of your brain.
Yeah.
Like your frontal cortex, which does a lot of these function. And that can affect your organisation skills.
Yeah.
But again, you can work around them. You can put interventions and strategies in place to make it easier.
Well, yeah, I find for me it's not about going right. This is the reason I can't do things. It's like, well, this is me, so there are certain things I need to do differently.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of our society and teaching and stuff is all done in a way. Well, everyone wants to say it. Everyone has to work the same.
Yeah.
Work. But you know, that's part of occupation. Well, that is kind of essence of occupational therapy is to look at individuals and work out strategies that work for them.
Yeah.
That's very important, I think. When it comes to routine setting as well, know what the person wants and what their goal is or where they want to go with it.
And I think this is potentially where that the NLP thing I was talking about, the meta programs comes in. So we all have different. There's loads of different meta programs, and I had a quick look through my notes earlier, thinking what was like particularly relevant to routines.
Yeah.
And like there's a meta program about what we refer to as chunk size, which really is like levels of detail.
Yeah.
So if I was writing a list for going for a bike ride, my list would be bike, food, kit, and that's like bike means check my bike, do any repairs I need to do, make sure the tyres are pumped up, etc.
See that comes first nature.
Yeah.
Someone who wants an excellent experience in bikes,
So that's
need to write that into their routine.
yeah. So that's so the chunk size thing is that bike, that's fairly big chunk.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go bigger chunk and just go bike ride stuff that covers all of those areas. But I know that when I say like, right, kit, what kit do I need? I know what kit I need for what prescribed, so I know that if I'm taking a group, I'm going to take a first aid kit, like a full first aid kit rather than just a couple of bits. You know, pads if it's a bike park. And then when it's like looking at food, it's again like, is that food to eat on the go? Is it something to have afterwards?
Yes.
Is it just a bottle of water if I'm only going out for an hour?
Yeah, definitely.
So like that detail level, and like you were saying, so one reason for needing more detail would be being less experienced with the activity.
Yeah.
And another is just that preference.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it all depends on the individual.
So we've got
fresh wood now.
Yeah, we've put some fresh wood on, and we've done. So we've gone through some general tips about what everyone can do, but really it's like a very individual thing. So how can someone, if you're struggling with routines or you want a new routine in your life, how can you access that support?
I know a good occupational therapist.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, it's finding support if you can't manage it. The first thing you want to do is try and break down the small, like you've got chunks now, isn't it? About breaking stuff down it's a matter of manageable ways.
Yes. So you can book a session privately with either myself or with Matt. You know, mine's more like the NLP sort of type stuff. So that'd be looking at your meta programs and learning about what your preferences are. And Matt, as an OT, can go through actually building up the routines.
Yeah, building up through in establishing change as well. How do we find what needs to change as well?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're looking for something like that and you can't afford it, then please get in touch anyway, because it only takes a collection of people in a certain area to tell us that they need something to make it worth us creating a project looking to apply for funding. So, is there anything you want to add before we
quick tips?
do our top tips?
I'd like to say, I think the most important thing is everyone has a different understanding of routine and what their routine is, and everyone's under different pressures. So, you know, if you're struggling to keep up with routine and everyone feels normal, that's not normal to you. A lot of people get hung up on like, oh, they're doing it like this, you know, so I've got to do it like that. But it's the ability to understand we're all different.
Yeah, so like own the individuality.
Yeah, and you'll get to that stage where everyone else is, but you just need to do a couple of different improvement stages.
Yeah.
And it's all about understanding your different preference.
There was a few in there, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, that was just a general section.
Oh, right, cool, yeah. Sorry. Pay attention, that's a top tip.
Yeah. So yeah, top tips. What are we going to hit? I think the most important one's got to be break it down.
Yeah, I mean, I've only got one top tip really, which is think about how you tick, get to know your own meta programs.
Yeah, definitely. I think reach out to somebody, professional, and use colours. You write stuff down. Remind yourself. I think that's the key to any routine.
Yeah.
If you come down in the morning and see it in your book, you're going to think about it. And then the last tip is don't punish yourself for not concluding about it. If you've thought about it and initiated a tiny bit of it, that's an achievement stepping forward.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to spend 3 minutes getting the over 3 minutes putting all the pots and pans in the sink, and then just leave them there and tell Jen that I've washed up for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So, well, Matt says it's good enough.
I'm not going to have everyone's wives come and challenge me on that one. But yeah, I mean, if you're struggling to do it, though, and you've done nothing, and you've taken the pots and you put them in the sink with a bit of water, that's a step forward. You've got to celebrate that achievement and that step.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that it then?
Lovely, yeah.